The story begins far away from Earth, in a cold, forgotten part of the galaxy. For thousands of years, a massive alien network slept there, silent and still. It was older than any known civilization. Older than time itself, some would say. Its builders were gone, their names erased from history. But their creation remained, orbiting a dead star, waiting for something or someone. Then, one day, it woke up. Without warning, the network's ancient cores began to glow with golden light. A deep hum spread through the void, low and powerful like the heartbeat of a god. For a few seconds, the entire sector shimmered with strange energy, and then a single pulse shot out into space. It traveled faster than light, passing through star systems, cutting across wormholes, and echoing through ancient communication relays that hadn't worked for millennia. The pulse carried a single message, one word burned into every transmission line it touched. Chosen. No one knew where it came from. No one knew who sent it, but everyone felt its arrival. On Earth, it started as a small anomaly. Satellites near Mars began to fail for no reason. Communication networks went silent, and the Hubble Replacement Telescope sent back one last image, a blinding streak of gold moving through deep space. At first, scientists thought it was a solar flare. Then probes on the moon began to shut down one by one. In a matter of hours, every system connected to deep space frequencies glitched or froze. The strange part? No human technology was directly attacked. It was as if the signal was searching for something. Dr. Ilara Miles, a communications specialist working at the Lunar Research Station, was the first to notice the pattern. While reviewing corrupted data logs, she saw a repeating sequence, 5 symbols that formed something like a heartbeat. When she converted the data into sound, the entire control room filled with a deep, vibrating hum. It wasn't random. It was language. Her hands shook as she slowed the frequency and replayed it through the translator AI. The result appeared on the screen in glowing blue letters. Translation complete. Chosen. The room went silent. No one spoke. Everyone just stared at the word on the screen. Chosen for what? One of the engineers whispered. Dr. Miles didn't answer. She didn't know. But deep down, she felt something. A strange, heavy pull, as if the universe itself was suddenly watching Earth. Within minutes, the message spread across all human space agencies. The United Nations Science Council was called into emergency session. Politicians argued. Some believed it was a natural cosmic event, maybe a signal from a collapsing star. Others feared it was a warning. But far beyond Earth, in the dark heart of the galaxy, the truth was already known. The great alien empires, the Ashen Dominion, the Drath Collective, and the Seraph Lords all detected the same pulse. For them, it wasn't a mystery. They recognized it. Their historians had spoken of it in whispers. The crown signal. A sign that the throne of command had awakened. The ancient seat of ultimate power that once ruled every star. And the galaxy knew what followed the signal. The last time it appeared, entire civilizations fell. Worlds burned. Empires crumbled. The Ashen Emperor watched the decoded message flicker on his throne room wall. His pale skin turned cold as he read the word. Chosen. Earth, he stood slowly, the air trembling with his voice. It has begun again. Back on Earth, Dr. Miles and her team tried to trace the source of the pulse. It seemed to be coming from beyond the Kuiper Belt, near an ancient satellite orbit that no longer existed. But when they pointed telescopes there, they saw nothing. Just the cold void, empty and endless. Still, the energy readings kept rising. Something was approaching. Something vast. Dr. Miles sent her findings to the UN Council. Before she could send the final transmission, the lights in her lab flickered. The hum returned, louder this time, vibrating through the floor. Her computers turned on by themselves, displaying strange alien symbols. The translation system glitched, then stabilized. New words appeared on her screen. The throne seeks its bearer. Her blood ran cold. It wasn't just a signal. It was a summons. Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, military satellites detected massive energy waves forming in deep space. Not aimed at Earth, but circling it like a storm building strength. No one knew what was coming. Some believed it was an invasion. Others whispered that something older, something beyond gods, had marked humanity for a destiny it never wanted. Dr. Miles looked out from the lunar observatory, her reflection caught in the glass. She whispered the words to herself, "We never sought power." And somewhere in the darkness beyond Neptune, a voice, mechanical and ancient, whispered back, "But power has chosen you." The hum faded. The signal vanished, but the message remained. And across the galaxy, every empire began to prepare for war. The message had been sent. Across the Milky Way, the single word, chosen, echoed through every relay and every forgotten archive. For humanity, it was only a mystery, but for the rest of the galaxy, it was the sound of doom returning. In the farthest reaches of space, powerful empires began to stir. Worlds that had once fought for the right to rule, now united under a single fear. The throne of command had awakened again. On the capital world of the Ashen Dominion, the Emperor's voice filled the great council chamber. His figure was tall and thin, his silver skin reflecting the firelight from 1,000 torches that burned without smoke. Every noble and general bowed as he spoke. "The crown signal has chosen another species," he said quietly. "And it has chosen humans." Gasps filled the chamber. One of the generals, a scaled warrior from the Drath races, hissed in disbelief. "Impossible. Humans are primitives. They only just learned to cross their own system." The Emperor's crimson eyes narrowed. "So were the first chosen," he replied. "And they almost destroyed us all." A silence fell. No one in the room dared to speak again. Meanwhile, on the Seraph Citadel, a crystal world that floated between twin suns, the oracles of light gathered in their cathedral. Streams of energy flickered around their translucent bodies as they searched the cosmic web for the signal's origin. One of them, an ancient being with a voice like singing glass, finally spoke. "The throne has decided." "The prophecy begins again," another whispered in fear. "The throne chooses not the strong, but the pure. If it has chosen humanity, then the galaxy is doomed." Across the stars, transmissions spread like wildfire. The alien races called emergency councils and fleets began to move. They had one shared goal: stop humanity before it sits upon the throne. Back on Earth, Dr. Alara Miles had not slept in 2 days. Her team at the Lunar Research Station worked around the clock, scanning every corner of the solar system for the source of the mysterious signal. But the readings made no sense. It wasn't coming from deep space anymore. It was coming from inside the solar system. Late one night, while reviewing the signal data, Alara noticed a new pulse. It was faint but steady, repeating every 6 hours. Each time, it came from a different direction, as if something invisible was moving closer to Earth. She recorded the data and sent it to the UN Science Council. Within minutes, her communication screen flickered. A man appeared, General Kaito Ren, head of the United Earth Defense Command. "Dr. Miles," he said firmly, "your discovery has reached the Council. You are to report immediately to the Orbital Command Station." Alara frowned. "General, is this about the signal?" "It's no longer a signal," he replied. "It's a contact." Hours later, she stood inside the massive command hall of the orbital station, surrounded by military officers and scientists. Holographic maps showed hundreds of red dots moving slowly toward the solar system's edge. Each dot represented an alien ship. General Wren pointed to the display. "Our deep space sensors just confirmed multiple incoming fleets. They're not human, and they're not responding to any messages. Every known galactic empire is moving, and they're all heading for Earth." The room went cold. Someone whispered, "They think we want the throne." Wren nodded grimly. "Whatever this throne of command is, they believe humanity is linked to it. And they mean to stop us permanently." For the next several weeks, panic spread across the planet. News channels reported strange lights in the sky. Governments held emergency meetings. Some world leaders called for peace talks. Others ordered full military readiness. But humanity's fleets were small compared to what was coming. Even united Earth's combined navy could not stand against a single galactic empire, let alone all of them. Yet something strange began to happen. As the alien fleets advanced, their ships started failing. Engines stalled. Navigation systems glitched. Invisible waves of interference spread through space, disrupting their formations. Dr. Miles studied the pattern carefully. The disruption matched the frequency of the chosen signal. It was as if the same mysterious power that sent the pulse was now protecting Earth. But no one understood why. In the dark void beyond Neptune, something vast moved, silent and hidden. Cloaked in shimmering light, it looked like a floating crown made of stone and energy. Inside it, millions of ancient circuits came alive, powered by forces older than galaxies. It was watching, calculating, waiting. The throne of command had awakened, and it had already decided. On Earth, Dr. Miles sat by the observation window, staring at the stars. The world was preparing for war, but she felt something deeper, a strange connection, like a whisper at the edge of her mind. She closed her eyes and listened. At first, there was nothing. Then she heard it, the same voice she'd heard the night the signal arrived. "The test begins," her heart pounded. She looked up at the stars, her reflection shining in the glass. "Why us?" she whispered. "Because," the voice said, calm and eternal, "humanity never sought power, and that is why it must wield it." The fleets kept coming. The galaxy was at war with destiny, and Earth, unprepared, uncertain, and small, stood in the center of the coming storm. The storm had finally reached the edge of the solar system. From the dark beyond Neptune, thousands of alien ships emerged from slipspace, massive, glowing, alive with energy. Their shapes were strange and terrifying. Silver serpents, crystal towers, ships that moved like living creatures. Each one carried weapons capable of burning worlds. Earth had never seen anything like it. Humanity's telescopes filled with static. Satellites lost signal. And then, the sky above the gas giants lit up with blue fire. The invasion had begun. In the command chamber of the Orbital Defense Station, General Kaito Ren stood before the massive holographic screen. Red warning lights flashed around him. Behind the glass, Earth floated below, quiet and unaware of the doom drawing closer. "How many ships?" he asked. "Too many," an officer replied quietly. "At least 200 confirmed fleets. The largest concentration near Jupiter's orbit." Ren clenched his jaw. "Are they communicating?" "No, sir. No messages, no signals, just movement." He turned toward the viewing window. Somewhere out there, beyond the blackness, entire civilizations were gathering, and every one of them was coming for humanity. Dr. Ilara Miles stood beside him, pale and exhausted. Her eyes were fixed on the data streams pouring across the screens. Each new report showed another wave of alien energy signatures moving toward Earth. "They're not here to talk," she whispered. "They're here to erase us," Ren nodded. "Then we fight." Within hours, the United Earth Defense Fleet was deployed. Hundreds of human ships, crude compared to alien warcraft, launched from Earth, Mars, and the lunar bases. They formed a loose wall of steel and courage between Jupiter and home. For the first time in history, all of humanity fought as one. The first contact happened near Jupiter. 3 alien cruisers entered orbit, shining like burning suns. They ignored every message from human command. Instead, they turned their weapons toward the small human patrol fleet guarding the gas giant's moons. Captain Mason of the UES Vanguard sent one last hail. "Unknown vessels. This is the United Earth ship Vanguard. Identify yourselves or—" Before he could finish, beams of light sliced through space, vaporizing 2 ships instantly. The Vanguard shook as shockwaves hit its hull. The first battle of the war had begun. General Ren watched from orbit as live footage streamed in. Alien ships moved like predators, elegant, silent, merciless. Human vessels fought bravely, launching missiles and plasma fire, but it was useless. One by one, their signals went dark. Ren slammed his hand on the console. "Pull them back! Pull them back now!" But before the retreat order could reach them, Something impossible happened. A golden wave of energy rippled across the battlefield. It came out of nowhere, from deep within Jupiter's atmosphere. The wave struck both human and alien ships, but only the alien vessels reacted. Their weapons froze. Their engines failed. Their glowing hulls dimmed like dying stars. The human ships floated in stunned silence. Dr. Miles stared at the readings. "It's the same frequency," she whispered. "The chosen signal. It's protecting them again." Wren frowned. "From where?" She zoomed in on Jupiter's lower orbit and froze. There, hidden in the planet's storm clouds, a massive shape appeared. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't built by humans. It was a structure, shaped like a giant crown, made of light and shadow, pulsing with golden fire. Wren's voice dropped to a whisper. "Is that the throne?" Miles nodded slowly. "It's alive." Across the galaxy, alien command ships watched in horror. Their fleets were reporting mass failures near Earth's system. One of the Drath commanders roared in fury. "The throne has awakened! It protects them already!" The Ashen Emperor's cold voice echoed through his warship. "Then we must destroy Earth before it chooses its ruler." Every empire accelerated its advance. The largest armada in history was now heading straight for the human homeworld. On Earth, people filled the streets, watching the strange lights in the night sky. To them, it looked like distant stars flickering. They didn't know it was war. They didn't know the fate of their species was being decided millions of kilometers away. In the command room, Dr. Miles replayed the data again and again. Every reading showed the same pattern. The throne wasn't attacking, it was shielding. Every time alien weapons fired near human ships, the golden field expanded and neutralized the attack. "It's protecting us," she said softly. "But why?" Wren turned toward her. "Because it thinks we're worthy?" She shook her head. "No, because it wants to find out if we are." Then the voice returned, soft, metallic, familiar. It echoed through the station's communication system, heard by everyone at once. "The throne has awakened. The test has begun. Survive, and you will inherit the stars." Every human froze. Every alien fleet recorded it. The message was clear. This was no ordinary war. It was a trial, one that would decide who deserved to rule the galaxy. As Earth's defense fleets prepared for the next wave, Dr. Miles looked out at the stars again. She felt the same pull in her chest, the same connection she couldn't explain. "We never sought power," she whispered again, and somewhere, across the black sea of space, the golden crown pulsed brighter. As if it heard her, the throne had chosen its champion. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The golden crown above Jupiter did not move. It simply hung there, massive and silent, glowing softly in the endless storm. Lightning flashed across the gas giant's clouds, lighting up its shape, an enormous ring of shifting light and stone, like something alive. It wasn't metal. It wasn't energy. It was both and something more. Every sensor humanity had was pointed at it. Every telescope watched it, but no one could explain it. The throne of command had awakened, and now it was waiting. Dr. Ilara Miles sat alone inside her quarters on the orbital station. She hadn't slept in 3 days. Every time she closed her eyes, she could hear it. A faint hum, like a voice calling from far away. She had tried to ignore it at first. She had told herself it was just stress. But when she looked into the energy readings from Jupiter, the hum grew louder, clearer, sharper, like it was responding to her thoughts. Finally, she decided to test it. She activated a private link to the long-range communication dish and sent a simple transmission toward Jupiter's orbit. A short, clear message. "If you can hear me, what are you?" For a moment, nothing happened. Then the lights around her flickered. The hum turned into words, not in her ears, but in her mind. "We are what remains. You are what begins," Ilara froze. The voice was calm, ancient, almost gentle, but its presence felt immense, like 1,000 minds speaking as one. She whispered, "Why me?" "Because you listened." The words filled her thoughts, soft as wind, but heavy with power. The others seek the throne to rule. Humanity does not. That is why you have been chosen. At the same time, far beyond Earth, alien fleets were gathering again. They had seen the throne's energy protect human ships, and they were terrified. The Drath Collective launched a massive weapon, a gravity spear the size of a moon. It was designed to pierce even the strongest planetary shields. They fired it directly at Jupiter. The spear entered the system at impossible speed, a burning streak of red light tearing through the void. When it reached Jupiter's orbit, it struck the golden crown head-on. For a moment, the entire solar system went silent. Sensors flatlined. Then, in a blinding flash, the weapon dissolved, disintegrated like dust. The throne pulsed once, bright and strong, sending out a wave of golden energy that spread across every planet. Every human who saw it felt something deep inside, a warmth, a heartbeat, a strange sense of connection. But for Dr. Miles, it was more than a feeling. She saw visions, flashes of ancient cities built among the stars, armies of light marching under banners shaped like the throne, empires kneeling before a woman with golden eyes. And then fire, endless fire. She gasped and fell to the floor, clutching her head. Her team rushed in. "Doctor, are you okay?" Elara looked up, her eyes glowing faintly gold. "It's speaking to me," she whispered. "It's showing me what happened before." When she recovered, she gathered her team in the command hall. General Wren was there too, watching her carefully. "Doctor," he said, "you told me earlier this thing isn't a weapon. What do you think it is now?" Elara stared at the projection of the throne on the big screen. "It's not a weapon," she said slowly. "It's a throne, but not for ruling. It's a test, a trial to see who can bear its power without falling." Wren frowned. "And it chose us?" "Not yet," she replied. "It's still deciding." That night, Elara returned to her lab. The hum was louder now, surrounding her, echoing in her bones. Her hands trembled as she placed them on the console and whispered, "What do you want from us?" For a moment, there was silence. Then the golden light filled the room again. "To see if you can rise," the walls shimmered. The air felt heavy. She looked up, and there, in the reflection of the window, she saw herself sitting on a dark, radiant throne. Not of metal, not of stone, but made of light itself. "Dr. Miles?" Her assistant's voice broke through. Elara blinked. The vision was gone. But she could still feel the warmth in her chest, as if a spark of that throne had settled inside her. Meanwhile, alien fleets regrouped. Their leaders argued. Some demanded to retreat, others to destroy the humans before the throne bonded completely. The Ashen Emperor sent one final command: burn their world before they ascend. The largest fleet in history began to move toward Earth, tens of thousands of ships, all armed with weapons that could break planets apart. Humanity had no chance, not with its current power. But the throne was no longer silent. As the fleets crossed the edge of the solar system, a whisper spread through every human communication channel, every mind that had felt the golden pulse. "Rise!" Dr. Miles looked out the window as the stars flared with the arrival of alien ships. Her golden eyes reflected the light of distant fire. "It's coming," she said softly. "And we're not ready." The throne pulsed again, bright and alive. Its voice echoed through her thoughts, calm but unshakable. "Then you must become ready." And somewhere in the storm above Jupiter, the crown began to unfold, its golden rings opening like wings. The next phase had begun. The alien armadas filled the void like a tide of steel and fire. Their engines burned blue and red, their banners marked with the symbols of 1,000 conquered worlds. Each fleet had sworn an oath to erase humanity before the throne awakened fully. From the control deck of the Ashen Emperor's flagship, Admiral Zethar watched the Terran system appear on his display. He was old, scarred, his eyes silver and tired. He had destroyed empires before. He had broken rebellions. But this time, something felt wrong. "Admiral," said his second officer, "the human defenses are minimal. They're gathering near Mars, easy prey." Zethar didn't answer. His gaze lingered on the golden light still pulsing from Jupiter's orbit. You feel it too, don't you? He murmured. The officer hesitated. Feel what, sir? The throne. It's not just a weapon, it's watching us. Meanwhile, aboard Earth's orbital defense platform, chaos reigned. Thousands of ships scrambled to position. Most were miners, freighters, refitted transports pretending to be warships. Humanity had never been ready for another galactic war. General Wren stood on the main command bridge, his jaw tight, his eyes locked on the holographic map. The red markers representing alien fleets were multiplying by the minute. How long until they reach Mars orbit? 6 hours, came the reply. Wren turned to Dr. Ilara Miles, who stood behind him, pale and still, her eyes faintly glowing gold. Doctor, he said, if that thing out there is really on our side, now would be a good time to prove it. Ilara didn't look away from the window. Jupiter glowed like a sun, and the golden rings of the throne now moved slowly, turning like gears in the heart of a star. It's thinking, she whispered. It knows what's coming. Thinking? Wren barked. While half the galaxy is about to burn us alive? She looked at him then, and for a moment, he saw something in her eyes that wasn't entirely human. It doesn't act out of fear, she said softly. It acts out of judgment. In the distant stars, the alien council watched the battle preparations unfold through their psychic link. The Drath, the Vexari, the Tellurians, all their leaders had gathered through holographic projection. The humans have bonded with the relic, hissed one. If it awakens completely, we may not survive another cycle. Then destroy them now, growled another. Their world, their moon, everything. But a third voice, older, slower, spoke from the shadows. We tried this before, it said. When the old thrones rose. Do you remember what happened? The chamber fell silent. Every species in the galaxy carried that memory deep in their blood, a time when a mortal race had once touched the power of creation itself. And when they had fallen, the stars burned for 1,000 years. If humans take the throne, the voice whispered, the age of empires ends. The others stared in silence. None dared to disagree. Back near Earth, the first wave of alien ships arrived. Thousands of crimson lights filled the void, missiles, plasma beams, graviton torpedoes, Earth's sky lit up with fire. The moon shattered under impact. Mars went dark. Humanity's defense lines began to crumble. On board the station, alarms screamed. Wren shouted orders, but every screen turned white, flooded with static, then gold. The voice of the throne spoke across every channel, calm and resonant. They come to destroy what they fear to understand. But fear cannot end creation. Only choice can. Ilara fell to her knees, clutching her head. Images poured into her mind. Not words, but memories of something ancient and vast. She saw cities made of light, species kneeling before a radiant throne, wars that reshaped galaxies, and one figure standing alone at the center of it all. A human. Her voice trembled. It's showing me what happened last time, when someone else took the throne. Wren's voice broke through the noise. What did they do? Ilara's eyes filled with tears. They remade everything, and it destroyed them. The alien armadas unleashed their full fury. Beams of antimatter tore through space. Nuclear suns bloomed across the system. Earth's orbit burned with light and chaos. And then, silence. A single golden pulse erupted from Jupiter, brighter than a star, spreading across the solar system in a wave of energy that halted every weapon, every ship, every mind. Time itself seemed to stop. From the clouds of Jupiter, the throne unfolded completely, not a crown anymore, but a living construct, vast and intricate, its golden light weaving through the storms like veins of fire. The fleets that entered its range simply stopped moving. Their engines died. Their crews froze, eyes wide with terror, and across every channel one word echoed, soft, calm, final. Enough. Inside the human station, the lights flickered back on. Ilara opened her eyes, glowing bright gold. She whispered, almost in awe, "It's awake." Wren stared at her. "Whose side is it on?" She turned toward the window, watching the golden ring spin faster until Jupiter itself seemed to breathe. "It doesn't have sides," she said. "It has a purpose." Outside, the golden light began to move, reaching toward Earth like the dawn. And somewhere deep inside that light, a voice, calm, ancient, and impossibly human, whispered to Alara again, "The throne has chosen. Now, humanity must decide what kind of gods they wish to become." The light from Jupiter spread across the system like sunrise over the stars. Every screen, every ship, every planet in range was bathed in gold. And for the first time in 10,000 years, the throne remembered. It remembered the wars it had fought, the worlds it had built, the species that had knelt before it, and the one truth it had been made to protect: creation must never be ruled by fear. On Earth, cities went dark as the golden pulse rolled over them. People stopped mid-breath, staring at the sky. There were no clouds now, only light. In that moment, every human mind touched something greater. A whisper, a vision, a heartbeat that wasn't their own. Some cried. Some fell to their knees. Some heard a voice inside their thoughts. "Remember who you are." Dr. Alara Miles stood at the edge of the observation deck, her body trembling as the golden glow traced her veins. The throne was inside her mind now, showing her memories of the ones who came before. She saw a past civilization, human-like but older, standing before the same throne. They called themselves the firstborn of fire. They too were chosen. They too thought they could command it. And in their pride, they burned whole galaxies to dust. The throne had watched it all. And when it finally spoke again, its voice filled the station like thunder in a cathedral. Power is not a right. It is a mirror. Humanity has been chosen to see what they truly are. In the depths of space, the alien fleets had gone silent. Every sensor, every system, every weapon was locked. The admirals shouted orders, but their voices faded into static. On the Ashen Emperor's flagship, Admiral Zethar could no longer feel his body. His mind was suspended in a golden void, and before him stood a figure made of light. It wasn't human. It wasn't alien. It was something older than both. "You fear them," said the figure. "You fear humanity because they remind you of what you lost." Zethar's voice broke. "They will destroy us." "They always do." "No," the figure replied, calm and absolute. "They will replace you." The vision faded, and Zethar gasped, collapsing to his knees as the light vanished. When he looked up, his entire fleet had turned, every ship facing away from Earth. The throne had taken control. Back on the human station, General Wren slammed his fist on the console. "Ilara, what is it doing? Why are their ships moving away?" Ilara stared at the screen, her golden eyes wide. "It's rewriting their commands," she said softly. "It's overriding their war." "Overriding?" Wren frowned. That means it's changing them." The holograms showed the alien ships drifting, turning slowly, and then forming a single massive ring formation around Jupiter. The same pattern repeated across every captured fleet. Ilara understood instantly. The throne wasn't attacking, it was building. Then came the second pulse. This one wasn't light, it was sound. A deep, endless hum that shook the core of every planet. Machines began to awaken, devices buried deep in the crust of moons, asteroids, forgotten colonies. Ancient human artifacts, long before recorded history, powered back on. The galaxy trembled as the message spread from system to system. The chosen have returned. Across alien worlds, panic turned to despair. Armies refused orders. Priests screamed that prophecy had come true. Some fell to their knees, begging their gods for mercy. But even their gods stayed silent, because the throne's light reached everywhere now. Everywhere but one place. Its heart. Ilara walked toward the containment chamber, the room where the golden core of the throne was beginning to materialize. Wren followed, weapon drawn even though he knew it was useless. Inside, the air shimmered. A shape was forming, human-shaped, but radiant and infinite. The figure looked at them both. Its eyes were pure light. Its voice was calm. You called to the stars for meaning. Now the stars have answered? Ren swallowed hard. What are you? The figure smiled faintly. I am what you were meant to become. Ilara took a step forward, unable to breathe. Why us? Why humanity? Because only those who never wanted power can be trusted to wield it. Outside the station, the alien fleets dissolved into streams of light, merging into the golden construct around Jupiter. Planets aligned. Moons shifted orbit. The throne was reshaping the solar system, turning it into something vast and unknown. Ren turned to Ilara. If this keeps going, we'll lose everything we know. Or, she said quietly, we'll finally learn what we're meant to be. The light grew brighter, blinding, endless. In the last second before the systems overloaded, a message flashed across every human screen. Written in golden script, the throne remembers. The gods return through you. Silence fell again. The light faded. And when the stars came back, Jupiter was gone. In its place floated something far greater. A golden world, alive and glowing, pulsing like a heartbeat. Humanity's next evolution had begun. The solar system was silent. No one spoke. No one moved. Every sensor, every camera, every telescope pointed toward the same thing, the golden world that now floated where Jupiter once had been. It pulsed like a living heart, covered in shifting rings and patterns of light. Every few seconds, it sent out a faint pulse, like a breath. With each pulse, the entire solar system seemed to change just a little. Moons drifted into new orbits. Asteroids aligned into perfect patterns. Even the sun's surface shimmered as if answering a silent command. Humanity had never seen anything like it. Inside Earth's main orbital station, General Ren stood with a blank stare, his voice low and unsteady. It destroyed a planet and built a world. Beside him, Dr. Ilara Miles watched in awe, golden light still glowing faintly in her eyes. Not destroyed, she said. Transformed. It didn't erase Jupiter. It rewrote it. Ren turned sharply. Rewrote? You mean that thing can rewrite matter? Ilara nodded slowly. It's not a weapon, Ren. It's creation itself. Her voice trembled as she added, and it's waiting for us. Across the alien empires, panic turned into silence. Their fleets, once burning toward Earth, were now floating, unmoving, powerless. Every channel, every signal carried the same image, the new world, golden and perfect. To some, it looked like heaven. To others, judgment. In the Vexari Prime Council, the leaders argued. The throne has chosen the humans, one said bitterly. If they claim it, we are finished. No, hissed another. If they claim it, we will all be reborn, and that is worse. They began to prepare weapons older than memory, weapons sealed since the last throne war. They would not wait to see what humanity became. On Earth, governments tried to contact the throne. They sent transmissions, codes, and languages, all returned with silence. Then one night, a signal came back. It wasn't from space. It came from inside Earth itself. Every radio, every device, every signal repeated the same message, spoken in a voice that was neither male nor female, human nor alien. The world is ready. Come forward, children of dust. Your test begins. Ilara and Ren were chosen to lead the expedition. Their ship, the Horizon Dawn, was the first to approach the golden world. As they neared it, space itself seemed to bend, light curving around the ship, sound fading into stillness. The planet's surface wasn't solid. It was alive, liquid metal, golden clouds, and floating islands that shimmered like mirrors. Mountains drifted in the air. Rivers of light flowed upward into the sky, Ren whispered. It's like it's breathing. Ilara stared at the patterns forming across the surface, huge circular sigils that moved like clockwork. It's building something, she said softly. A message. Or a gate. When they landed, gravity shifted, not pulling them down, but gently toward the glowing center. Every step echoed like thunder. Each breath tasted of metal and ozone, and then voices, thousands of whispers layered and endless. They weren't coming from around them. They came from inside their minds. We are the memory of creation. We are what you once were, and what you must decide to be again. Ren gritted his teeth. Who are you? He shouted. What do you want from us? The whispers joined into one deep, unified voice, powerful, calm, and infinite, to see if you have learned what power truly means. A massive structure rose from the glowing ground, a throne-shaped monument made of pure energy. Around it, holographic figures appeared, not alien, not human, but something in between. Each one was made of light. Each one bowed before Ilara. Ren lifted his weapon instinctively, but Ilara didn't move. The golden figures spoke in unison. You are the first to touch the heart of the throne in this age. You carry its echo within you. Will you lead your kind to peace or to ruin? Ilara trembled. Her mind flooded with images. Entire galaxies reborn, species rising and falling, human faces she didn't know yet somehow remembered. I don't want to lead anyone, she whispered. I just want to understand. The figures smiled faintly. That is why you were chosen, Ren stepped forward. If we take this power, what happens to the others? The figures turned to him. The others will choose their own end. Some will bow, some will fight. But all will remember that once humanity rose, not to conquer but to become. Suddenly, the ground shook. The sky above darkened, thousands of alien warships breaking through the clouds. Ren's eyes widened. They're here. The empires are attacking. The golden figures looked to Ilara. Then your trial begins. The light flared, the world trembled, and a golden storm rose from the planet's heart, reaching toward the invaders like a living shield. As Ren's ship was pulled upward into the storm, Ilara heard one final whisper in her mind. Remember this moment, chosen one, for when gods return, even stars must kneel. The golden storm raged across the sky. Alien fleets burned as their weapons vanished into light. Every explosion froze midair, every missile turned into dust. The new world, the throne's world, had come alive, and humanity stood at its center. Dr. Ilara Miles stood before the glowing monument that reached into the clouds. Her body was covered in faint golden light now, the mark of the chosen. She could hear the throne's heartbeat inside her own chest. General Ren struggled to stay on his feet as the ground shifted beneath them. Ilara, whatever this thing is doing, it's pulling half the fleet into orbit. It's not an attack, she said quietly. It's rewriting them. Ren looked at the skies. Thousands of alien ships, once enemies, now shining gold. They had stopped firing. They were no longer fleets. They were becoming part of the throne. A voice filled the air, soft, endless, ancient. The empires of fear are gone. The age of choice begins. The voice echoed through every mind across the galaxy. Every species heard it, from the deepest oceans to the farthest colonies. Some fell in prayer. Others screamed. The message was the same for all. Humanity will decide what becomes of creation. Ren turned to Ilara, anger and awe mixing in his voice. We can't decide for the galaxy. We're just one species. Ilara's eyes glowed brighter. We didn't ask for this, but it's here. If we walk away, it all ends in fire. The throne responded, its words cutting through the thunder. Every era needs a hand to guide it. Every creation must face its maker. Will humanity create or destroy? Ren looked around. The ground was shifting again, forming images in light. He saw the firstborn of fire, the ancient humans who once took the throne and turned it into a weapon. Their arrogance had burned galaxies. Their cities had fallen into silence. And then he saw something else, a reflection of Earth. Children playing, oceans shining, people fighting, helping, building, all the chaos, all the hope. He understood. It's not about power, Ren said. It's about proving we deserve to exist. Ilara nodded, tears in her eyes. Then we choose life. The throne's core pulsed once, a deep, echoing sound that filled the system. The alien fleets, the human ships, even the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. Ilara placed her hand on the glowing surface of the monument. The light responded instantly, wrapping around her, through her, showing her every life in the galaxy. Worlds, faces, voices, fear, joy, sorrow, love. "This is creation," whispered the voice of the throne. "It exists because you choose to care." Ilara closed her eyes. "Then I choose to let them be free." The light flared, not as a weapon, but as a wave of peace. Every ship frozen in battle drifted to stillness. Every weapon turned to dust. The golden energy spread through the stars, undoing what war had made. Planets healed. Ruins reformed. Oceans returned to worlds that had been dry for centuries. The throne was rewriting history, one heartbeat at a time. Ren fell to his knees, shielding his eyes from the brightness. "Ilara, what's happening to you?" She looked back, smiling faintly, the golden light now burning through her skin. "It's giving them a future, and it's taking me with it." "No!" Ren shouted. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," she said softly. "Someone has to stay connected to the throne, to keep it from falling into darkness again." He grabbed her hand, but his fingers passed through her like smoke. "Ilara, please." She smiled, tears glowing like stars. Tell them we never wanted power. We only wanted peace." And with that, she vanished into the light. The golden storm faded. The sky cleared. The stars returned. Jupiter's orbit now held a radiant world of gold, still pulsing, still alive, but quiet. Human ships floated around it, silent, stunned. Every alien fleet withdrew. No one spoke for hours. When they finally did, one message echoed across the galaxy. "The chosen have decided. The throne belongs to no one." Years later, humanity rebuilt, not as rulers but as keepers of balance. The golden world became a beacon across the stars, a reminder of what power could do when guided by mercy. And sometimes, in the quiet night above Earth, scientists swore they could still hear her voice through the static, soft, distant, and proud. "We never sought power, but we learned what it meant to use it."